Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to show you how I made this teenage figure out of sugar paste. Now, I have done a video of a graffiti cake for a teenager with this figure on. If you like to watch that video, link is in the description box. Alright, let's begin with the video. Like always, my reference pictures ready for the size I need. Now my cake is 7 inch in diameter and 8 inch tall. So the seated figure is around 4.5 inch or 11 centimeters tall. It's important figures matches the size of your cake, or otherwise a tiny figure on a large cake or vice versa would make it look really weird. So make sure your figures are in proportion to the size of your cake. So I'm starting off making the shoe here. I have a picture of the shoe that customer wanted, so I'm detailing according to that. Now you can keep this step for last, but I rather finish the shoe first and then start with the figure. Here I'm showing you guys how I take measurement for the figure. Now, if you are new to figure making, these steps are easy to follow. I'm taking measurement from hip to the butt where it touches the floor, and from there to the knee, knee to the heel. Now, you don't have to take measurement of both legs and arms, just one side would do. Starting with the pants here, I'm rolling out the fondant to a long sausage sort of shape according to the measurement I took. I'm marking the hip and the knee and the heel. Once I'm done making the bottom part, I left that to dry completely. Now, this is a very important step. If you go to make the top part of your figure while the bottom is soft and not dried completely, what will happen is the weight of when you're working on the top, the weight of that will squash the bottom part and you will lose the shape of it. So it's important you leave that to dry completely before you start on the top. Now to make this figure, I'm using a mix of gum paste and fondant. Now 75% of it is gum paste and the rest is fondant. I was rushing the whole process. I wanted it to dry faster, so I used gum paste. Now if you're making it, you can make it with fondant, but you need to add a little bit of Tylose powder for it to hold its shape, especially when you're making figures like this, where you need to hold its shape and dry faster. Add a little bit of Tylose powder if you're using fondant. right onto the body. Now I'm making the chest and I'm giving all the details, though I'm covering it with fondant to give clothes effect. I still like to add all those details on the chest to show off the collarbone, neck, chest and all the abs. Those little details gonna make sure your figure stands out from a basic one. You can skip this part if there's a cost involved or if it's not worth the time that you spend on the cake. It's all your personal preference. For me, I personally like adding details to all of my cakes and all of my figures regardless of the cost. To glue the parts, sometimes I used water for the heavy parts, and where the gum paste is really dried, for those pieces I used piping gel mixed with a little bit of water. For the face, I'm using a mold and I have a reference picture for the facial details which I follow. To add facial details to paint on the face, you can either use petal dust or food gel color. I'm using a mix of both here. While you're painting, if you want to remove a certain detail or you got a stain mark, you can use a piece of cotton or cotton bud, dip it in clear alcohol and then clean that area. Let that area dry and then go back and color. Here, as you can see, I attached my hands a bit too early before it completely dried, and while I was working on the head, the hands were losing its shape, so I removed it, let it dry completely, finished with the head, and finally attached the hands to the body. Okay, so the figure is done. Now final few touches here and there. First up, I clean the whole figure with a cotton bud dipped in clear alcohol to get rid of any unwanted color patches and stain marks. Let that dry for a couple of minutes. After that, I started painting it to show where the lights come from, shadows, and to show highlights. So few touch-ups and that's it. We are done. Here's the finished figure. I hope you find this video helpful and you learned a few things along the way. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Till then, take care you guys.